Well, I'm going to show you how I start the mile a minute. And hopefully from this point of view you'll be able to see it. I start with the magic circle. And I chain 3. I go back into the circle with a double crochet, chain 2, back into the circle with 2 more double crochets. Alright, keeping that thread in front of me. I chain 3, go back into the circle with 3 double crochets, chain 2, back into the circle with 3 double crochets. Then I take that tail and I pull it tight to close in that circle. Now that kind of looks like it could be a square. I could chain 2 and finish it off for a square, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of this tail in my chain 3. I'm going to chain 3, but I'm going to filter that tail in the chain 3, and then I'm going to go over to the very first chain 3 stitch that I started with, go right into the top of it with a slip stitch. Might not make sense what I'm doing, but if you just follow my directions, it'll be fine. I slip stitch and then I'm going to chain 3, and while I'm chaining 3, I'm going to get rid of that tail. I call it filtering the tail in. 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm getting ready to start my continue with my mile a minute. Now what I've done here is by connecting this into that chain 3, my mile a minute is going to be going up this way. This right here is a 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and I wanted at the base to be thicker, so that's why I did 3. I could have did 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, but I wanted this base or the bottom part of my mile a minute to be thicker, so I put an extra double crochet on both sides. And I'll do this at the end too when I get to however many rows I'm going to do. This particular one, so that I can finish the afghan that you saw at the beginning, I'm going to do 75 rows. And each rows consist of this, consists of the two double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Okay, so now that I've connected it together with a slip stitch, chained up 3, I'm now going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in this chain 2 space from row 2. So, and I'm also going to be getting rid of that little piece of tail at the same time. So I chain 2 double crochets, chain 2, back into the space with 2 double crochets, and then to end this row I'm going to do a double crochet down into that chain 3 space. See down here? This is a chain 3 space right here. So I'm going to double crochet into that chain 3 space, and what that does is start making my side walls of my mile a minute. So now I'm going to start by chaining 3, which represents the height of a double crochet. I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to go into this chain 2 space with the same thing I did the row before, and I'm going to do this for the next 73 rows. Okay, 72 rows. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the space, I'm going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and I'm going to end with a double crochet in the chain 3 space. And so these sides, they're going to alternate. One time it's going to be a chain 3, the next time it's going to be a double crochet, because you alternate back and forth. So, but whenever you start up, you're going to chain 3, you're going to turn your work, and you're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space. Guess I'm trying to go too fast. And I'm going to end with a double crochet down into this space down here, the row before. Alright, and I just keep repeating that. And then what it does, it just grows. It's called a mile a minute, and as you start doing it, you'll learn it's going to really look like, you're going to say, oh, this is a really fast pattern. Now you can use a larger hook. You can use a smaller hook. I'm just choosing to use hook number H. Alright, that's how I got that beautiful blanket. And then once I do all 75, my length is 75. Your length might be 100. It might be 150, depends on what you're making. I just happen to be making an Afghan for my daughter-in-law. So I'm just trying to make it double wide her body and the length of her body, just so she can cover up in it when she's laying on her couch or sitting in her chair. Alright, so I'm going to come back once I have 75, when I get to number 75. Because when I get to row number 75, I'm going to do the same thing I did down here. I'm going to put 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and tie it off and set it aside till I get ready to border it with my white. And I have 2 more of these to make, so I'm going to go ahead and make those 2. And then I'll come back and show you how I border the white around the strips. We call these strips. Alright, so hopefully you were able to get that. And I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I've done 74. Getting ready to do the 75th row. So I'm chaining up 3, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets in the space, chain 2, and put 3 more double crochets, and then finish it off by clipping about 3 inches, pulling it through, and tightening it. And that's my strip. So the next step will be introducing your new color to go around the edge. This is just my marker here. I had marked it when I got to 70, so I could stop when I crochet up so many and then count when I get to 50. Then I put a marker at 60 and a 70, and so this is my 74 rows. Made with a H hook. Now when I introduce my new color, I start at the tip and I put 6 double crochets in that tip, getting rid of my tail in those first chains. So I'm going to chain up 3, which is the height of a double crochet, and then I'm going to put 5 more double crochets, which gives me a total of 6 when I use that chain 3. So 3.
Andre.
Okay, that was my hubby came into the room. So I put 6 in there. Turn it away. I put 6. And then I skip over to the corner space and I lay down my tail along this edge, or I actually filter it in. I'll go ahead and do that for you. I just weave it in and out so that I can go over top of it. And it keeps my piece looking really clean. No tails hanging out. Alright, so go to the corner, and in the corner I'm going to put 5 double crochets. And you'll kind of have to judge what you do with yours, but I'm just showing you my border that I did for mine. Then in between each one of these, I'm going to chain 1. And then I'm going to put 2 in each space. One space is a double crochet, one space is a chain 3. And that's going to alternate all the way down the side of your strip. So I chained 1 in between after I did my 6 on top, my 5 on the side. I'm going to go all the way down to the one before the top and do the same thing on the other end as I do up here. So I'm going to put in 2 double crochets in this space, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next space, chain 1, and so on all the way to the end. When I get to the end, I'll come back. Now on some patterns I've done, it'll make it even thicker if you put 3 double crochets in these spaces, but I wasn't sure how much yarn I had, so that's why I only did 2 on this particular blanket. Alright, so that's what it looks like, and when I get to the end I'll come back. Alright, so I'm down to the last one before the top. So I'm chain 1, go into it 5 times. And I do this to turn the corner actually too. So that's 5. And the tip, I don't chain in between this one. And the tip I put 6 in. 6 double crochets. 4, and this helps me turn the corner. 5 and 6. And then I still don't put a chain. I go into the next one and put in 5. And then I chain 1. Alright, and so this gives me a really nice clean curve, a scallop like at the bottom of the blanket as I connect them together. So I'm gonna go, so this has 6 and the sides have 5, and then I start to chain in between. So whatever you do on one side you need to do on the other. So then I'm back to my 2 double crochets in each space, chain 1, 2 double crochets all the way to the end. And when I get to the end, I'll come back and then we'll move on to putting them together. Be a very quick video, probably under 15-20 minutes or so, for a mile a minute. Okay, I'm at the end. That last one I'm gonna put, I chained 1 and I'm gonna put 5 in, 5 double crochets in the space. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the first 3 chains, the first 3 chains that I started. And I didn't put a chain in between there. So I go into it and pull it through. And then what I do is I slip stitch across top 3 or 4, which is actually called a hidden stitch. So I pull it through, slip stitch across the top, slip stitch, Then I cut, pull it through, tighten it, and then I just weave it in back and forth. And then when I get just a little bit left, I turn around and go back the other way to kind of lock it in. And then I'm done. Completed. Alright, so when I come back, I'm going to be connecting this on to the one that I'm almost finished with. And we'll be done. Okay, I'm back. So what I do is take my new strip and I put two wrong sides together because I want my design on top, my accent color. So that I have a scallop on the end, I start not on the 6 and not on the 5, but right in the space where I did that chain 1 on both of them. And that's where did I lose my crochet hook? Alright, so I'll stick my hook in between there, leaving this all unworked. And I just loop it over, pull up a loop, begin to get rid of my tail, chain 1 and 2. And these are going to be all half doubles. So I yarn over and I go into the back loop of this one face closest to me, and the back loop, or since this is facing me, it's going to be the inside loop, which is the back loop, the two inside back loops. And at the same time, I'm getting rid of filtering in my tail. I do a half double. I do it again on the next one, back loop, and on the other side, back loop. Pull it through, half double. Now the spaces where the chain 1s are, I go in the whole stitch, still filtering in my tail there, half double. And that gives it its own design. See here, when you go in that space, see the longer stitches are in the space. I forgot I was under a time frame, so I got cut off at that last part. So let me see if I can position this camera. To finish this. Alright, so see how I put that together? And so I'm going to do that all the way down the whole 2 strips. So I'm doing half doubles, which is yarn over, back loop on this side, and the back or the inside loop, not both of this, on that one, pull it through, still filtering with the half double. And the next one, back loop, and then when I get to the spaces with the chain 1s, connect them together. And if you have the same amount of rows, you'll end up the same way at the end. One strip won't be longer than the other, so always make sure you count 2 or 3 times. So back loop, inside loop, back loop, whoops, yarn over, back loop, inside loop. It's a little tedious. And then into the chain 1 space and into the chain 1 space. And that's how you do it, all the way to the end. There we go, and that's what that's going to look like. And then once that's done, put the piece up here so you can see it. I'll try to take another picture of it. But it's beautiful, and whatever your color choices are, they look beautiful. Scalloped edge, nice, warm blanket. Have